Hello everybody, welcome to the next episode of our tier list making series where Bryn, Travis, and myself rank the assets of Arkham, well, right now the assets, but the player cards of Arkham Horror, the card game, for multiplayer play and how we perceive the power level. That's the most important thing, it's how we perceive the power level. So you may disagree and think Henry 1 is S tier, but we're not even going to humor that idea, and I'm just going to quickly scroll down to my boy Henry and just plop him right here. And then this guy can also join him over there. That's an easy place to start. Yeah. So with the S tiers, there's one that I can think of right off the bat for like what I view as an S tier green card for the assets. Is our boy Gold Pocket Watch.
Yeah, we've never been. That's never disappointed us.
Yeah, it's always brought the noise. Oh, 1 second. It's not picking up your guys' audio. Frickin' thing reset. All right. Okay, they didn't say much. Travis said that's a good start. And then he said, yeah, Gold Pocket Watch never let us down.
Yeah.
And Bryn hasn't said anything yet. He's kind of just charging up his power.
He's chill. Yeah, Bryn's got a lot of like niche cards he's got to talk about, so he can let us talk about the easy ones.
Yeah, I think Bryn's also trying to separate the Bryn enjoyment and like his like for real how he thinks the card is.
Man,
yeah, it's like that character thing that actors do where they gotta put on their role or whatever.
The hard part about this is that so many of the cards are like incredible in their build.
Yeah.
But absolutely useless if you're not playing that.
Yeah, so I think like with our previous list videos, we always kind of talked about like the general power level, and I think we still should look at the general power level, but also respect the fact that green is a little bit of like more of a, like I was making the archetype guide today for that premiered yesterday on our channel, and like there were so many cards, like they are archetype packages in green. Like it's like, here's this slice of the green pie. Are there any general other S tier cards that we think that are just right off the bat? Any others that we think are really strong?
Double or Nothing?
I think that card is very strong.
The other one that I would think about is like Lucky Cigarette Case, just because it's so ubiquitous. Like part of that is lack of other solid options where your accessory slot is either Crystallizer or Lucky Cigarette Case. But like pretty much every green deck that doesn't want Crystallizer wants
the Lucky Cigarette
Case. And even like some of the off-class people want it too, right? I'm not wrong in that, right, Bryn?
Yeah, no, no. Lucky Cigarette Case kind of just rewards you for playing the game. I would put the upgraded one in A+. Not because it is weaker, but because a huge part of the strength of this card is its general availability, which the upgraded one lacks.
That's fair. Another case I want to make for an S tier card or A+ is adaptable. I think this card is incredible.
Oh yeah, no, adaptable. If you know the campaign that you're playing.
You won't lose.
You can do so much with it.
You get so much experience out of it, right? For one experience, you get +1 experience, right? And then every other time you switch, which, as Bryn said, if you know the campaign, is like killer.
Yeah. You can be running. You're running a parlay heavy encounter. Sweet, fine clothes.
Yeah, exactly. Don't
you're running a more combat or damage heavy encounter. Maybe you're playing a leather jacket this time.
You need to resign at a location that's far away.
Yeah.
Get the hell out of here, right?
Yeah, right. Like there's a lot of tech pieces that you can bring in with that card.
Before we start looking at cards one by one, do we want to look? Are there any more notable D tier cards that we want to bring up?
Yes.
I'm sure there's some.
Which one, Bryn?
I think Fence should be in the D tier.
Fence
is pretty trash.
Fence, which one's that one? That's Burglary. Fence.
Oh, that's Burglary. Yeah, I don't know. I don't actually even know what it looks like because I don't ever play it. It's that one.
You just had
that
it.
One.
Up one.
Up.
Right.
This one. All right. Okay.
Yeah, that's Fence. I was gonna do an archetype thing around that, but it turns out that like it's kind of just useless.
So when you play an Listen card during your turn, exhaust it. The card gains fast. If it was already fast, reduce its cost by 1 instead. Yeah, it's not that greatest.
It costs you an XP and 3 money to play.
That's crazy.
Like in theory, it's good. It's just like the other listed cards.
Yeah, there's not enough. All right.
Although, like, maybe there's room for, like, a Tony Morgan deck where you play that and you just use that to play green illicit guns.
Yeah.
No,
every green gun is illicit.
It's not good.
Yeah. Like, it would let you put your guns into play fast.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know. Yeah, I don't think it's good.
All right, let's start looking at pickpocketing. I think this is a very nice card.
Yeah.
I think that card's like an A+. Or actually, it's probably like an A. The upgrade one is an A+.
Yeah, I'm with that. I'll go grab them.
I've actually played that one. That's why I have an opinion.
Yeah, the card's strong. The card's very strong.
In S. Oh, no, that's an event. Never mind. We're good. We're only talking about assets today.
Burglary. So
like
exhaust. If
times,
you succeed instead of discovering clues, gain resources.
This is a really card that I tried to think good. I'm like, it's investigate, but I never find room for it in the deck.
Yeah.
It really shines in like big money builds, where you're just like, yes, I could afford to throw away an action for more resources to fund like the rest of my deck.
Yeah, I think it's not like it like. I think C, for me it's a C. I could if someone wants to argue for B, but I think C is good.
I have no complaints about that.
I think the really tough part about Burglary is that, like, for the big money builds, the two people who play big money builds are Jenny and Preston, and neither of them are super good at investigating just on their own, and they typically need to spend resources to investigate, and because the investigate action is on the Burglary, you can't even, like, use lockpicks to get around it.
When I was making the archetype video today, and I realized, like, how little cards came for the succeed by thing, from Circle Undone, I realized how much Preston like forced that whole cycle to appease him, right? He's like, I need money to do things, so make cards that use my money.
Well, you can't just print like a shitty gimmicky investigator and then not print support for it, you know?
Yeah. I would put Leo, like level 0 Leo in S tier. Like Every time I play a green deck and I want to play an ally that's not Leo, I have to convince myself that what I'm doing will be better than.
What about the upgraded version?
The upgraded version I'm okay with being an A+ as well. Like I very rarely pay for that.
Yeah.
1 XP for 1 less cost is just not quite enough. That being said, the card is still very strong.
Oh yeah, definitely. What does this gun do? You get +2 for the attack. If you shoot by 2, this attack deals +1 damage.
It's like kind of trash.
It's okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, like
I said, it's like kind of trash.
Yeah, plus 2
like,
is good, but no reliable bonus damage.
Like, it's pretty efficient on low-level difficulties, but as you get higher up with worse chits in the bag, like, you just... It's not good. It's not reliable enough.
There's only 2 of these guys,
the 2
right?
hard knocks, yeah.
So these are very relevant symbols for what green would probably want to be doing, which is punching and running. So...
These are, like, a little bit better than average, because green has money.
Yeah, there's a couple of reasons for it. Like they're both quite relevant stats, as well as like if you are playing green and your card's like very expensive to do something, you're like, oh no. Anyway,
maybe like this.
That's all my cards.
Yeah, I kind of like that.
Catbug, I think, is the ally that we play the least, but I think he reads so strong.
Yeah. No, Cat Burglary is pretty solid. The trouble with him is that he's competing against a lot of other very solid allies.
Yeah.
In a vacuum, I think it's an A.
Yeah. In green, we probably have like the second best suite of allies. We also have some of the worst allies.
It's
like
true.
Not a lot of middle ground.
But if we were evaluating these on like how they stack up with other things, I think even Leo level 0 would be an A+, just because like Lola and Delilah are so strong. But Leo on his own is an S, yes.
Yeah. No, on its own, like Cat Burglar is real good. It's like a 3/2 soak.
Yeah, I think he's
plus
just...
It gives you plus a foot.
I think pickpocketing is better than Catbug, but I think they're like... This is where I'm vibing it. That's where I feel it.
Yeah, no, I like it.
Bryn's favorite, Liquid Courage.
Oh, man.
I think this card actually... So, like, when it first came out, it was pretty good, and then it got worse, and it got better again.
Oh, what a twist. What a roller coaster for it.
Like,
yeah,
this card has, like, it doesn't read good.
Mm-hmm.
But it does play good.
Yeah, yeah.
Sure, you're thinking, I'm playing green, my brain is 1. And you're kind of right. But, like, not dying is much better than dying. And this card is so much stronger than First Aid.
Mm-hmm. Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah. Where do we feel it? I'm not too sure. I don't have an initial read for me, so I'm going to pass it up to you guys. Where should we?
I think it probably belongs in, like, upper B tier, and then the upgrade one belongs somewhere in A tier.
I don't think that the upgraded one is actually better.
Ooh.
I think it is, because the reason that I think you go first.
Sorry, I think that wherever one of them sits, they both should. The upgraded one obviously has like an extra symbol, so that does make it objectively better, but not by much. They're different.
They are different.
Like one of them is good if the guy you're playing is like going to fail the brain test, and the other one is good if you intend to be feeding liquor to somebody who can pass the test.
Mm-hmm.
I think
they're very different.
I do think they're different, but I think that when the upgrade one is better, it is just better than the level 0 one, because the reason that you would be playing one of these cards, particular, like, yeah, you could feed it to someone else, but in general, I think when I mentioned before that they were strong and then they got bad and then they got strong again, they get strong again because they've printed a bunch of low brain green investigators who are just, it really enables you to just face tank through those brain tests.
Mm-hmm. I would like to just argue that for what I think for multiplayer, the level 0 one is better, just if you're using it as a tool to also heal other people, right? Because, like, for example, in our recent playthrough, Bryn removed he got back, he downgraded because it wasn't healing Travis enough when Travis needed the brain health. So I think for multiplayer, the level 0 one's better, but I think for solo, if you're like working for just yourself or like even 2-player, the experienced one is better. That's my thought.
Yeah, I think it depends. It depends a lot on your team comp. Like I downgraded that one because we were playing all purple and thus rarely had a brain score of less than 5.
Yeah.
So like passing the test was kind of a joke.
But to me, I think like you could flip a coin and
like when you want one of them, you want them for very different reasons, mm-hmm. right? Like the one of them is good if you're playing with low brain investigators or going to use it to heal yourself, and also, like your team or like you have low brain.
I think
right? If you're using it as a defensive tool on your low brain score investigator,
mm-hmm.
yeah, the upgraded one is better.
Yeah, I think what we should do is we'll put the experienced one first because it is a guts, and as we know, guts is good.
Yes. Yeah, like that is the part that makes it like better, is that you get the extra brain symbol on it.
Okay, so we have these weird guys, and there's one more of them, right? There's this guy, and then
there's the treasure hunter. Yeah.
I think those cards are better than we've given them credit for, but I still don't think that they're great.
Yeah.
I think they're like bottom of B tier probably.
Yeah, like they're fine. The treasure hunter is 1 for a 2/2 soak.
Mm-hmm.
And if you get him killed in the turn you play him, it doesn't it doesn't matter, you don't have to pay for it.
Yeah, like there's 2 situations you want to play these guys. Either one where you're playing like a very ally heavy build,
mm-hmm.
and you're gonna set up like a cash flow to be able to pay for them and treat them as very cheap stat boosts.
Mm-hmm.
Or you intend to play them and have them die in a turn or 2.
Yeah, right. Like if I end up paying 3 for taking 2 less damage and 2 less horror, and I get a brain or a book for the duration.
Yeah,
it's not so bad.
It's not bad. Upgraded Switchblade.
Oh, dude, this is so good. This is like
this card actually might be I was gonna say that card might actually be an S tier weapon.
Yeah, like this card is insane.
I mean, it was our number one glow up for a reason.
Yeah. It's like 1 money fast, and it just does an extra damage when you fight.
I mean, like, it was the number one glow up because the level 0 one is actually trash.
Yeah, I mean, it's down all the way down here, right?
Yeah.
I'd live with this because it's less. Like, you'll see these guys more. Like, in a combat deck that wants this, you're going to want that, right? Like, with this, with Tony Morgan is killer.
If you're playing green with web.
Yeah.
Okay.
Lone Wolf. In multiplayer, I think
that card's like an A just in general.
Yeah. Yeah, like, it's not hard to enable, even if you have a whole pile of guys.
Mm-hmm.
And it works quite well with most of the rogue themes where they're like, everything we do is slow and expensive.
Yeah.
And you need money to set up your assets to make your deck work.
All right. So the permanent, I think this one's also really strong. Like,
no, this one I think, like, we gave
Streetwise gives the S tier.
Yeah.
Dude, look at all of these S tiers that Green's got.
Yeah, like, green gets some very strong cards, but some very bad ones too.
Yeah. Sick.
Yeah. No, like, I don't disagree with that. I would probably put that one at the top of A+, just because, like, it's not, like, it's the second best one, and it's always going to be the second best one.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Because it doesn't.
Yeah, it's going to be dark days if they print something better than higher education.
Yeah.
The dice.
The dice are really strong. I fucking hate them, but
I think they're like.
They're real.
I think they actually belong in like A. They're like good, but they're not like that good.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, like the fact that they take up the necklace slot, and there are some other quite strong necklace slot cards that we get.
Yeah.
In this color is a little tough. They are only technically level 2, so that opens up a lot of potential people who can play them.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
And the fact that you can just keep rolling until either you bust or like you pass the test the way you want it to.
Yeah.
Like, assuming enough money.
Or if you're Bryn and you roll them once,
just immediately.
and then they explode, and you're like, well, dang.
Yeah. Oh, that's cool.
Joey the Rat, level 0.
Oh, he's trash.
I think I just got a package delivered. I'm going to pause the video for a second.
Yeah, like...
Sorry about that. Bryn, what were you going to say about Joey?
Oh, Joey the Rat is like, he's like Fence, but kind of worse. Like, sure, we can use him on any item that we want, not just illicit ones, but he also takes up our ally slot.
Yes. What about upgraded Joey? I know he is better.
Yeah, upgraded Joey's much better. I haven't actually gotten a chance to play with him, but he seems like he could play a pretty cool, like, gun green build, where you, like, when your guns are empty, you just sell them to Joey.
I haven't played with most of these cards, but that doesn't stop me from having an opinion.
Maybe like in middle B or like right here.
Yeah, like he's. I think he's a lot better than the other two allies in B tier, but like he's probably not as good as Catbug.
Sounds good.
I kind of want to give him a shot in like a Dexter Drake deck, which I guess Dexter can't play because he's level 3.
Yeah, Dexter can't. Well, Dexter could get him. It would just be like a lot of hoops to jump through.
We could do it with the power of.
Yeah, I don't. No, we're not doing it.
we're not gonna do that.
It's not worth it.
Chicago Typewriter.
The green big guns are almost as good as like the blue big guns. Like the amount of plus punch you can get off this gun for your attack is kind of crazy.
Mm-hmm.
Which is you're gonna need if you're not Tony.
Yes.
Yes. This is true. But yeah, I think most of the green big guns are probably like A or A plus tier. They're good.
Sure, I'll put them here for right now.
They're not they're not as good as like Flamethrower is.
Yeah.
Or the lightning gun. But
we have stealth, which in multiplayer I think is not great.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like, it does something that I, like, don't mind having, right? Like, if you're, like, the lone wolf person, but, like, you're gonna run into so many problems in multiplayer with stealth. That's my
it does end up being a little awkward.
Lockpicks.
With more than one person. Yeah, lockpicks are sweet. Yeah.
I think it's, like, only because, like, you can only do it once a turn, right? But, like, the consistency it provides is very strong for a rogue.
Yeah, it also does serve as a very powerful enabler for the Succeed by X build.
Yes, definitely.
Where you're just like, I'm investigating at 8. Like,
yeah.
I'll just beat it by the number I need to.
No, see what happens, Bryn. Then you roll as the -5. You fail, so you roll with your dice.
Yeah,
draw the auto fail.
Actually, yesterday, I was playing with my family, and I had turn 1. I was playing a Winifred deck, and I had turn 1 played Pilfer, and then committed 2 Opportunists to it and another card, so I was up like 7 to the game's 7 points above the game, and I just drew the red token, and it was like, oh, sick! Like I can't do anything for the rest of this game now.
that was my game.
Yeah, like I just threw my hand at something because I was like, I'll just draw more cards, but nope, we're just done.
Knuckle Duster.
Like, it's solid.
Cards like an A?
I think low A. Like, it needs work to be, like, really good, but, like, in Tony,
like
it's sick.
Yeah, I was gonna say, like, it's good in Tony and kind of exactly in Tony right now.
Yeah.
Yeah, you do need to be somebody with a very high base fight, and he's the only one who both has that and can play it.
I think Knuckle Duster is one of my favorite cards to build around. I've done it twice now. Only played it once, but I like seeing Travis punch dudes in the face. It's really fun.
Yeah, it's a good time.
I think these days there might be a solid Leo Anderson deck to play with this, where you're just playing like Lonnie and Beat Cops and the Hired Muscle.
Yeah, definitely.
Charismas.
Well, my other Knuckle Dusters deck was Leo back in the day. He's Moxie. I think
you got Moxie, kid.
I think this is one of the best composures because it gives them brain.
Yeah. Sometimes just being able to buy your way past a brain test is the only thing you've ever wanted.
Yeah. Like, I don't think it's in the A tier, but I think it's very solid B tier.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
Bryn's friend Dario.
I don't like this man. I would put him in the top of C tier.
Bottom of B?
Like, I would put him at like the top of C, I think.
Sure.
Like, he's an enabler for the big money deck, but only one type of the big money deck, because he's really bad in the spending one.
Yeah.
Like, it's just sort of like, how many hoops are you going to jump through to get his buff? And how many times are you going to activate his ability? Like, you have to activate it like 6 times before he starts to pay for himself.
Yeah.
So, like, he's not great.
That's fair.
He's good if you plan on having the brain in the book active all the time.
Yeah,
but
definitely.
If not,
Derringer Upgraded.
Oh, Derringer Upgraded is like part of the reason that you aren't allowed to play the game with double or nothing anymore. So the difference between this one and the lower one is that if you succeed with the test by 3 or more, you also get to take an extra action.
Seems sick.
Yeah, like, it's pretty good. Taking more actions is a good thing, mostly.
And it gives you +2 fight.
Yeah.
You only need to succeed by 1 to deal +1 damage. My gut says here, I don't know what you guys think, though.
Yeah, I don't think
I've played this or ever seen someone play with it.
I played with it once in a standalone we were playing. My deck did have double or nothing, and it never worked. But like, in the scenarios where this used to be able to work, you used to just get to take like 6 extra turns because you shot a man. I
think just the numbers on the card are really good, and I think just A tier is where it belongs.
Yeah. No, I think that card would be very solid in a Tony Morgan deck because you could just like beat somebody for like actually forever.
What we're learning is that Tony Morgan is probably on par with Mark for best like goon killer in the game.
He's like pretty good.
He's very good. His numbers 5 fight is very high.
Yeah. It's pretty sad that blue that doesn't have like the best. Well, it's probably Mark is still probably a little bit better, but doesn't have a monopoly on being the best fighter characters because they're kind of not good at other things.
Yeah, they are the most reliable ones, though.
Yeah, I guess
because you get to play other blue cards.
All right, suggestion.
This card is like lockpicks, but for a skill test that is not good.
It's the evade one.
Yeah, this is the evade one.
Yeah, it's like pretty not great.
Yeah, like it's cute if you're playing like, I don't know, Safina, I guess, and you get to evade at 8.
Yeah, for what it's worth, they didn't print this card for green characters. They printed it for Akachi.
That is true.
Yeah.
There is also a level 1 version of this card that I think is much better than this one. Although this one is also like 3 dodges, I think.
It is 3 dodges.
Yeah, so that's kind of cool too.
But like, how often is that? I mean, in green, how often is that like going to be super relevant? Like, I mean, with like Trish, yes, you can do it to not provoke attacks to cancel attacks of opportunity if you investigate with an enemy engaged with you.
Yeah, that's pretty good.
What do you guys think for its tier?
I don't think that like bottom of B tier or top of C tier would be unfair.
All right.
I was going to say like bottom of B tier, so.
Sure.
Yeah. Like this card does cost 4 XP, and the thing it does doesn't actually help you win the game.
Yeah.
It just helps you to not lose, which is a good thing.
Sharon Zobel.
Oh man.
Otherwise known as Make Bad Choices.
Yeah.
Like, I would almost say that this card is an S tier, but some people like
honestly,
in theory, it should just be free experience. It should just be free experience.
Yeah, like the card just reads strong, right? Like the numbers are all good, but then you just don't die, right? So it's like those things. Like assuming you don't die, the card is incredible, right?
Yes. Yeah. It does create like some slightly unfun multiplayer parts where, like, you're all, hey, you should die for me so that I don't.
Yeah.
Or you're resigning early so you don't die, but it's not what's right for your team.
Maybe we put
There's a reason we don't play this card in our group too much, and it's because if one of those situations came up, well, at least I can't speak for you guys, but I would be like, fuck off, you bought that card, you can die for it.
Yeah, and I wouldn't I would buy it in solo every time, right? Because if I die, the game's over, right, for me.
I kind of hope this card gets added to the ban list as well, because I feel like a lot of green cards suffer on their XP cost because it exists.
Mm-hmm. I think A+, I think it adds too many of those moments on a stress for S tier for multiplayer, but I think we can't put it lower than this.
Yeah, like it is very strong.
Mm-hmm. But I would also be like Travis. If Bryn, I mean, I don't know why Bryn would buy it. He's usually the one who dies for us.
Yeah, I wouldn't buy it. I would die.
But yeah, I would be like, dude, you made the deal.
Yeah, you signed the contract. It's your problem.
The Lupara.
That card's like a solid A, I think.
Yeah. Yeah, it's a gun you can play in combat. It does 6 points worth of damage.
Mm-hmm.
You get +2 for the attack if you played it this turn.
Yeah.
Only downside is only 2 ammunition.
Yeah, it ain't broken, but it's just fine.
Yeah. There's a lot of big enemies in the game. You can one round with that.
Baby Skull.
Mm-hmm. I think this is a little better than Dario. You have to activate it less times to get your value out of it.
Big Skull there.
The upgrade one's like actually kind of okay though.
Yeah. The upgraded one you can spend as many charges or like up to 3 charges, and then you do it that many times.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
So you can just like sit it and play, bank the points.
Maybe top of B?
Yeah, I think this one's solid.
Mm-hmm.
It's not amazing though.
Yeah, I think No, I like it there.
Although it does play very nicely with the treasure hunter and the hired muscle.
Definitely.
You put them into play and they're like, I don't want to die, and you're like, the skull demands it.
The skull demands sacrifice. High roller.
Card's sweet. How many times would you just play an asset that gave you free unexpected courage whenever you wanted, and all you had to do to get it back was pass?
Yeah, that card's pretty sweet.
Yeah.
I think it's like an A tier card though, not quite A plus, just because it does cost 2 experience per copy, and green is very experience hungry. Typically, there's a lot of other things that you need to buy before you can get around to that.
Yeah, unless like that's the deck you're playing.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
But this card is good. It's just a pile of unexpected courages.
Yeah.
Yeah. No, it's a good card. Just it's not high enough.
Lola.
It's not good enough to be a priority in a lot of decks.
Yeah, I would probably put both Lola and Delilah like at the bottom of S tier. Like they're good.
Honestly, to me, like I think they're the best.
I think Lola should be S. I think Delilah should only be A plus though.
I think Delilah should be A plus as well. I think
That's fair.
To me, Lola, is better than Leo, which I know might be sacrilege.
I think Lola is easily better than Leo.
Yeah.
She gives you two stab and testless clues.
To me, I like her even more than Double Double as well.
I do too. She's better than Pocket Watch?
I don't think so.
Probably not.
I don't think so, no.
Like raw power, Pocket Watch is better. Yeah. For decks they go into, Lola shows up more. Because a lot of decks can't just afford to piss away 8 experience.
Yeah, it's pretty big, but
yeah,
we're not here to argue that point.
Yeah, I think that Delilah only belongs in A plus because if you care about the punch, you don't care so much about the foot, and vice versa, probably.
Mm-hmm.
And then, whereas Lola gets you like all of a clue, Delilah only deals 1, sometimes 2 damage. You know.
Mm-hmm. I do think, like, obviously they're both incredibly strong. I do think I'd want also, Leo and my ally more than Delilah overall. That's where
it also goes back to you actually kind of can't get too many clues.
Yeah, exactly. And we're like, it's obvious we've said it before, and we'll say it again, that getting clues is more important than fighting enemies, because if you decide the pace of the game, right, like you can.
Yeah, if you get all the clues are out to get, you probably win.
Yeah.
No, that's fair.
I do really like Delilah, though. Like, I love her design. I love the neat things you can do, but she is a little bit... She doesn't activate fully, like, where Lola, you can pretty much use her whenever.
Oh, yeah. No, it's just, like, it's the same reason why Yellow is, like, kind of inherently better than the other classes.
Mm-hmm. This Colt Vest Pocket?
I think that card's cool, but it's not good. I think that made one of the archetype decks.
Yeah, like if you are playing Tony Morgan, you might be able to get all the bullets off.
Or skids.
Or skids, but if you're skids, you're also just missing all the time. So.
No.
Where's that?
No, I think that skids is the deck that's playing that.
What a weird card.
It's it's a pretty niche weapon. It like most level 0 green weapons.
Yeah.
It is not
for everybody.
If your job is solely to kill monsters, it is probably not the primary weapon that you.
Mm-hmm.
It does a reasonable job of cleaning up extra stuff.
I thought you'd be higher on this card considering it's like pretty cool with Sleight of Hand.
Yeah, but not these days. Sleight of Hand is different now.
Yeah, Sleight of Hand, it always is changing.
Sleight of Hand's going through like a constant set of like self-reinvention.
Yeah, Sleight of Hand is a ball of clay that every week a new person comes in and tries to make a pot out of.
Yeah, like this current iteration.
Sleight of Hand affects this card the same as it did before.
Yeah. Yeah.
Because don't you still pick it up, or does it just put it into play?
No, you don't pick it up. It just puts it into play, and it has to be level 3 or less.
Oh. That's
so like,
stupid.
Yeah, it is. It really is.
Mr. Skeleton Key.
Skeleton Key.
We should taboo Sleight of Hand. Yeah, that's pretty good. We should Sleight of Hand tab. We should taboo Sleight of Hand for our group and have you pick it back up, because apparently they can't. Fantasy Flight can't decide what it's supposed to do. So.
Yeah.
Just make up whatever we want. Yeah, Skeleton Key. Good card.
Yes, sir.
Great
card if your entire team is like generalists too.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah.
Borrowed Time.
Super cool card.
This card sits to me on the list of cards that are exceptional that didn't need to be.
Yeah, that's fair. Yeah, 6 experience is a lot for that guy.
Yeah, 6 XP is a lot, and why can't I play 2 copies? Like, just tell me I'm only allowed to have 1 in play. Like, easy.
It can probably sit in C or D tier.
Right.
It's not great.
Yeah.
Yeah, like, it's really cool.
I think I'd like it here. It does to me, like, Dario just does more for less, right? Which is still not, I mean, that's very hard to say about Dario, but...
Yeah, this card would do like very well if you are a green monster hunter, or if it was level 2.
Yeah, it's very expensive.
And, like, you could play it in off-color guys. Just on account of like the turns where there were no monsters to fight, you could just store up your actions to wait until there were.
Well connected.
Well connected is like the payoff for the big money dragon deck. As opposed to the big money spending deck.
Yeah.
Yeah, like it is very strong in that deck.
It is also very niche though.
Yeah, but like outside of that deck, it also doesn't do a goddamn thing. You can commit it for a book, I guess.
I like that. Seems like a good place for it, I think.
Cool.
Yeah, like if you are playing the big money deck, that card is crazy good.
Foot Tarot.
I think Moon's probably only an A though.
Yeah, Foot is not an offensive stat unless you make it an offensive stat, and green can do that. It does take some work to make that happen.
Maybe here? Yeah. Just below... Actually, probably just... Yeah, probably there.
Yeah, we do get... Green does get a lot of cards that let you add your Foot score to a different score. So having just getting +1 to that is like pretty okay.
Yeah, definitely. Thompson?
Where did we put this on the blue asset list?
I can find out.
Can we just stick it in, like, I think it was like A.
Because it probably belongs like a little bit lower than that on this list.
We can like dump it in the bottom A. I think we said it was like a pretty... It's not great. It's boring. It's not a great weapon, but like it's pretty solid starter for the big gun deck, which doesn't really exist in green so much. Green has like ammo snagging.
We put it in B. Middle of B.
Okay.
Yeah. Actually, sorry, I have changed my mind. This should be slightly higher in green because green can play Swift Reload, which is insane with this card. You just get to load up to full bullets.
Maybe top of B?
Yeah, top of B will work for me.
The other downside to that card a little bit, though, is that the green upgrade is not so good compared to the blue one.
Yeah. No, the green upgrade is like...
So, like, you don't quite have anywhere to go.
Well, let's grab the green upgrade then. Where should we put it?
I mean, the green upgrade is better.
Money. Yeah.
It can shoot 2 things, which is nice.
Yeah, if you're playing a deck where you're a lot like Skids or Tony and you're allowed to play Let Me Handle This, you can fairly easily end up with more than one enemy at your location. And possibly make use of its flavor text.
Maybe there?
Sure.
The alcohol.
Oh, this card is like...
Yeah,
sorry,
this card is... Go. I was going to say, I like how like 70% of this list is just like, it's good in Tony. And that's it.
Tony's...
Well...
Good.
Yeah, to be fair, like Jenny could use the big guns, and like Skids can use the big guns as well.
Yeah. No, it's just, it shows, like, I think a lot of the green cards were balanced around them not being, like, particularly good at anything, and then they made someone who was good at something. And it changed how we perceive a lot of those cards.
Yeah, definitely. So,
But,
Bryn, you've played
this
with...
thing's pretty good, too. I like this card a lot.
You've played with these the most, where, like, this guy probably somewhere in B.
Yeah, so this one is, like, fairly solid. Downside is that most of our guys have really low brain. Side to it is that with this card we have a chance of possibly ever passing things.
Mm-hmm.
Like three, it's this one. This one's only two. This one's 2 guts and 1 fight action.
Yeah.
The fight is not that great. We can use it to like plink off an odd health guy. It's pretty.
Yeah,
good.
but it's like fine once it's empty.
Yeah, the upgraded one. The upgraded one is sweet. It costs so much XP. It costs 3 XP, but
that's a lot.
Like it's good. This one gives you 2 at +3. So even your one brain investigators, you get to test as though you were a purple guy.
Yeah.
Twice. It also changes to be fast, so you can play it while engaged with an enemy, and the fight action deals an extra damage.
Okay.
It's
so, like,
also
I think,
listed so you can play it for 1 less with your...
Yeah, you could. No, I do think that one is actually like quite good.
It is very good, I think. Yeah, I agree.
Like, 3 XP is a bit of a big ask, but it's also like the upgrade from the level 0 version to this is quite noticeable.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it's worth keeping in mind that a lot of these cards, it's like not just 3 experience. In a lot of cases, it's like 6, because if you can justify upgrading 1 copy, you can probably justify upgrading the other one.
Yeah, definitely.
Or probably should be.
I'm just trying to see if like where I feel like it sits for when I go. I think it is better than the Lupara.
I feel like
it's a powerful defensive option.
Bottom at A+, Travis?
Yeah, I feel like that's where I would put it.
Sure.
Yeah,
a big part of why I think it belongs there.
Keeping you alive.
Yeah, it does something that there aren't really any other green cards that do, which is like just brute force you through brain tests.
Yeah, I mean, honestly, all the greens except for Safina could benefit from this one. So
why can't Safina benefit?
Even
Safina just show up and crush him.
No, sorry, like she can obviously, but she has much better things than she can do.
She doesn't need it.
Yeah, like that's like that's where I don't view it as a benefit. It's like it's kind of like if you brought that out as Safina, I'd like pause for a second and be like, why don't you just get some sick ass stuff?
Why don't you just
like you have access to purple defense,
double.
So
yeah,
you get like purple defensive choices. Why are you picking green ones?
Da 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 da.
Are you not playing mortar protection? You're like,
I don't like investments.
Yeah,
it's like not great.
It's cute, it's fun, but I don't think it's good.
I think it belongs in like, so it doesn't gate 10 resource. I think it belongs like and C. It's a decent starter card for your big money builds.
Sure, that's fair.
Yeah,
that's fair.
So you can replace it with like Hot Streak or something.
Yeah.
This one's called Another Day, Another Dollar, right?
Yeah, that card is like, it's like Studious, where it's just a quality of life upgrade.
Man, this card would be so sick if it were level 2.
Yeah, definitely.
But yeah, like in green, the extra 2 money at the beginning of the game is much less important.
Yeah, maybe like low B.
Than it would be in off green.
Because even then, like...
Yeah, like...
What are those... Yeah.
It's alright.
Bryn! Jellyfish Egg.
Oh, the Jellyfish Egg.
I think it's a strong
card. I do like this card a lot. There are a lot of events that you have like skill card like icons on them.
Oh, definitely.
And I think there are a lot of decks where this card is very cool.
Mm-hmm.
It's definitely not like A+ or F tier.
Yeah,
sure.
my gut says just under lockpicks, just above tarot.
Yeah, like this is one of the accessory slot cards that is often competing with.
I also, now looking at that, I feel like this is better than the tarot.
Yeah, the tarot card is like very niche.
Yeah.
Yeah, like the tarot cards, something you pick up with spare experience around scenario like 6 or 7 when the tests have gotten a little bit harder.
Yeah.
Or if you're running like Succeed by X and you intend to be making lots of foot tests to get that. Like, get that high above the game. So, no, the Crystallizer is pretty sweet. It's like a weird card draw engine.
Yeah, yeah.
It's like the Lucky Cigarette Case, only instead of just playing the game, you have to play the game a certain way.
And I mean, like, it makes all your events do something twice, right? Which is like not as strong as double double, right? But still very nice to get the.
I argue it's actually like a shitty Dark Horse kind of.
Yeah, yeah, exactly.
Because you end up with no money from playing all your events anyway.
Good old Gregory Gray.
Dude.
He's a C. So Come on.
Yeah.
Gregory's a C.
I would put him like top of B tier.
Top of B tier?
Actually, though. Like, he gives you so much money. He just shows up and he's like, I bet you can't shoot that guy. And you're like, watch me.
But no, like, I think he's too inconsistent to give you that much money.
I disagree.
You have to have him play instead of Leo or Lola. Come on.
Yeah, no, that part is rough.
I can't put him higher than these guys.
Okay. Let's put him higher than Another Day, Another Dollar at least.
Yeah. No, he is better than those. I'll agree. I played him once and he was like pretty okay, but it was also just like a shitty meme.
Yeah, I'm playing Gregory in a current build. And he's usually just like free soak, and then I also get 3 extra money out of it before I have him get killed.
Upgraded Burglary, which now if you succeed, says gain 2 resources, +1 for each point you succeed by. Okay.
What's the cap on it, or is there
it's
no
max
cap?
+3, so the max you can get is 5.
That's technically better.
Yeah. Yeah.
I still just view that as so slow, though.
It is like a little slow and awkward, but 5 resources is a lot, assuming that you're playing a green character who can do something like that.
Yeah, yeah. I think like it's not. I think it's like probably better than. No, it's probably worse than Another Day, Another Dollar.
Like yeah, if you're playing the big money deck, you'll have no problem getting to that, passing an investigate test by 5.
Yeah, you just show up and give yourself plus whatever with your well connected. Yeah. But that is only one archetype that is good.
Yeah.
Yeah, other than that, maybe it's good in Trish, who knows? Like, maybe.
I think Trish is more about cheating clues than like actually investigating, but
actually, from what I've been building, I think she also does really good at investigating and then using... actually, I think she's best friends with Lola to just grab a clue and then evade an enemy or grab an additional clue without actually making a test, right? Like, and then...
It's a very bold observation.
And then there's also like the
ally that gets her 2 5s is good.
And then there's also the ossification, so you can just use that to also cancel. I think there's a lot of... I've been very excited to build my solo deck for her, and because I want to see how she is against Finn, because in our video we didn't... A for haste? In the video I didn't really know who I thought was stronger, so I'm excited to try them both and see.
Yeah, I think that's a pretty fair spot for haste to occupy. Like, how many fight actions could you take on a Tony Morgan?
Yeah.
Yeah, like you look at this and you're like, man, that's a lot of free actions. But then if you think about it, it's like, you're like, oh, it's not that many because I have to do the same action over and over again. But then it turns out that a lot of things like count as the same action, even though they different things.
Yeah.
Which is like weird and I disagree with. But
yeah, like you could play this card and use Catbug to get away from a thing into a location with a new enemy, using your gun to shoot that enemy, and then use your lockpicks to investigate that location as your bonus action.
Yeah, that doesn't seem like right.
But you know,
it is how the rules work. So here we are.
Yeah.
Garrote Wire.
Card's pretty good in Tony.
Yeah.
Card's pretty good. I think just about all of them. Like, bad in Preston because he doesn't want to pass.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's level 2.
Yeah, this can live in A+ then.
Yeah, like This card is pretty sweet. You got some problematic cultists. That's cool. They can be your strangling buddy now.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I think it's a strong option for like Leo in particular.
Yeah, definitely.
Nah.
Definitely.
Maybe I should spend some experience on that because I don't discard it if I turn into a tree.
Man, I love all this tree talk, and they haven't even seen those episodes yet. It's going to be a good time, we promise. Sawed-off shotgun.
Oh man, the ceiling on this card is so high.
It's like shotgun, but like kind of worse.
Yeah, like the ceiling on it is incredibly high, but the floor on it is so low.
So
it probably belongs in like B.
Unlike the shotgun,
we had shotgun in B for Guardian.
Yeah, but like Guardian has a lot more ways to load it up with ammo.
Yeah. So do we view it in B or like?
Or more consistent ways to load up with ammo and more consistent ways to pump your punch up.
Mm-hmm.
These are both true things.
Like the only investigator who's green who can play that. Well, I mean, the only investigator in the game who can really play this, I think, is Tony.
I disagree. I think you could build a Winifred deck that could play this, or like even Skids, because Skids has access to all of the, most of the blue punch increase.
Can he play it when it costs 5 experience?
He doesn't have access to the most important blue card though.
Skids is green. For some reason, I thought Skids was blue. I had a break.
Yeah. No, Skids can play it. I think if you're playing a Succeed by X deck, you can probably afford to play this if you need a way to kill boss monsters. The fact that it only takes up one hand is also like better than the shotgun because you don't have to discard your existing weapon.
And you can no longer Sleight of Hand it in, correct?
Oh yeah, you maybe never could. I don't know.
I think that the Beretta is a better option for gunning down boss monsters than this is.
The Lupara?
Yeah, but this is flashy.
No, the Beretta.
Beretta. Oh, we haven't got there yet.
No, we haven't gotten to it yet.
Sick.
Especially if you're doing the Succeed by more. The Beretta just gives you +4.
Yeah, no, like you're not wrong. But this the shotgun is like flashy and cool. When it works,
this
you're like,
isn't a flashy and cool list, Bryn. You're slipping from your character. This is good cards.
Yeah, the Beretta, I'd probably put it A+. Like, this gun is sweet.
Yeah, it belongs
like, this is like the kind of gun that green gets that blue wishes it got.
Yeah.
This gun is sick.
Yeah, that does read really nice. Wow.
Yeah.
It only costs 4 experience for some reason too. Man, you can just play this in Finn. Weird.
Yeah, because green guns are all illicit.
Yeah, but you can't play a bunch of them because they're level 5.
Yeah, but the guns are like you can play them because they're illicit though.
Oh yeah. Okay, never mind. I forgot about that part of it.
No, the Beretta is just sweet.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I think like the shotgun.
I think in a vacuum that the Beretta is better than the Typewriter, but the Typewriter is better with if you're like building around it, you know.
Mm-hmm.
No, Beretta higher.
Yeah, the Beretta is like.
This is where I feel like the Beretta belongs.
Yeah. Agree.
Yeah, the +4 punch. Like, if you're not succeeding a punch test with +4 punch, like, what the hell are you doing?
Yeah.
Pressing
let alone succeeded by 2 or 4. Yeah.
Well, can't figure out which way to aim the gun.
I don't think you can play that because it's illicit.
Yeah, that makes sense.
So the new stealth is now a lightning bolt. So that is nicer, but I still think it has that multiplayer problem.
I think the problem is like much less. Like it doesn't really exist so much anymore. Where you're just like, yeah, I can take the monster when it readies. You guys play before me, and then will not be here.
Mm-hmm.
So like, I think this does fix a lot of the problems with the previous one. Where the previous one is like you still have to spend an action on it. Why aren't you just evading it?
Yeah.
This one gives you a reason to not just evade it, and it's because it's faster.
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, maybe here?
It's also sweet with pickpocketing.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah. You just get to proc it on a lightning bolt.
Yeah, it's pretty easy to crush your... Because it gives you -2 to the test, right?
Yes, it does.
Yeah.
Well, -2 is actually the same as the succeed by 2. It's the same number. You see.
Wow, we cracked the code.
Yeah.
So I think that's a good synergy.
I think so too. I think so too, Travis.
Yeah.
Suggestion, level 1.
I think this is actually better than the upgraded one.
I need to read what this card does.
This one doesn't give you the dodges, but otherwise I believe is the same card. No dodges, no foot icon.
Yeah, it looks like it.
But I think other than that, it's the same.
And it's 3 less experience. And I think, honestly, that's the good part of the card.
Yeah, so, like, if you want this effect, this is the version you want.
I don't think it's a whole tier higher.
No,
I think it's
but it is better.
Yeah, I think it's a B tier card. Probably here? Probably just below stealth?
Yeah, it does also have the upside of, like, off-color green guys can play it. Like, you could play this in a Wendy Adams deck in order to just get away from the tough monsters. You could play it in a Dexter Drake deck, and it would just be better than Mists of Rella.
It also has the text that I'm not smart enough to know what purpose it serves, but it gets discarded when it has no charges, so maybe there's something about that. I don't know.
Yeah. Yeah.
Upgraded Colt Vest Pocket.
This is so much better.
Right, let me see what it does. You get +2 at the end of the round. If you shot with it, you discard it. Okay.
Yeah. So you don't have to play it in the turn you want to fire it.
Yeah.
Which is like a complete world of difference.
Yeah, honestly, that's.
I think it also gives you +2.
It does give you +2. Yeah.
Yeah, which is like that's huge. Is it amazing? No. Does it do a fairly solid job of like supporting whatever your primary weapon is? Maybe.
Maybe.
+2 is big.
Probably here, below the whiskey and then the gun.
Yeah. Yeah, I think like the whiskey, like green does not get defensive options, so the few that we do get.
Level 0 lockpicks. Sorry.
It's not so good if you don't succeed by 2 during the test, you just discard it.
Yeah, and honestly, like lockpicks level 0 is there to just be in your deck for lockpicks level 1.
Yeah, until you can afford the better one.
I mean, that's fine. It still like does its job most of the time.
Yeah, like it's still a B tier card, right? Like it's still.
It does.
Yeah,
like
you're a little bit. You're a little bit. Yeah, you're like sweating the car a little bit when you're investigating a Shroud 4 or 5 location, but like those 2 or 3 ones, you still just crush.
I'll tell you who it's great in: Wendy Adams. Because if you fail, just change it. Just be like, no, let's try that again. The Mauser, both versions.
The upgraded one is like kind of sick.
Ready it or gain 1 resource. If you succeed by 4 or more, do both. Yeah, that seems pretty sick.
Yeah, like it's pretty good. The level 0 one probably sits above most of the other level 0 green weapons. But like it's probably still worse because you like it doesn't give you the +2. Which is kind of a big deal. But it is still like a fine weapon.
Yeah.
I don't feel bad about playing that one for the first couple of scenarios.
Probably still better than that too.
Yeah, like that one's pretty sick.
Lonnie, who has, to me, the most unintuitive rules text that exists.
One day we'll get vehicles.
Because
they'll have health.
And also because, like, you actually... So, the item needs to have damage on it, but Lonnie does not need to have horror on it for her to actually activate. Which is so... It just reads so wrong to me.
Stupid.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, like it should be either neither of them. Either it doesn't matter if one of them has damage on it, or like they both should have it. They both have to have it.
Yeah, 100%, 100%. I think she's good. I think she's good.
Yeah, she is very strong. A flat punch buff is like not worth nothing.
I think she's gonna get better when she has more things to heal.
Yeah, that's
once again,
true.
I think her only real place right now is in Tony. Yeah.
I think you could get away with playing her in a Winifred deck or Skids. Like the +1 punch going up to 4 is pretty big, as well as the like maybe we just don't die.
Yeah, but Skids can just play. Skids already has like enough money issues that he's gonna have a hard time playing this, and his. I don't want to spend the extra 2 money on the coat basically while I'm playing Skids, and I would rather just play B-Cop.
Yeah. We put B-Cop top of A tier. I think she's like probably like on par with Catbug.
Yeah, that's fair. Like I do like when she's active, like she's kind of insane, but it does require a second card.
I think a big thing that she does, like even though she's obviously, I agree with Travis, best in Tony, what she does in other rogues is she can bump, like for example, Jenny, she now has 4 and she can maybe start using weapons to do things more, right? Which...
Yeah, but how many times have we been like 4 punches kind of not acceptable?
Oh no, I agree, but I think that's what's like, but I think like, and she's just going to get better. Like Lonnie is going to get better as the game goes on. I don't think she's particularly like amazing. Like I'd put Leo in ahead of her. But I think just +1 fist is nice. Like that's.
Yeah. Also, rogue weapons are mostly balanced around the idea that rogues don't have good punch.
Yeah.
So if you get your rogue to 4 punch before you start applying your weapon.
Yeah. And I mean, like we had B-Cop at A, because at the top of A because they fight. Guardians fight, +1 attack, has a thing that deals damage. Lonnie, like, rogues do attack. They obviously are the secondary fighting class, right? And her text actually can be relevant. You need to run a leather jacket or something else you can heal. But she also has, like, she has so much soak. Like, she can just not, like, make you just not die.
Yeah, she does also, like, she helps fix a problem that a lot of the one-brain investigators have, where the game's like, test brain, for each point you failed, I take that much horror, and you're like, 3 it is.
I think right now, Catbug is better than her in green generally, but I think it's very close.
That's pretty hot take there, Justin. I think I agree though. Like that's the tough part is like you're never gonna play Lonnie when she's just okay. You're only gonna play her when she's good.
Exactly. Yeah. All right, leather coat, leather jacket.
This card's like actually pretty trash.
Yeah, I definitely like. It's definitely like a C level card IMO, but you play it because of Lonnie.
Yeah, literally the only reason I would ever play leather coat is because I want it.
Yeah.
To fuel on.
It's about the same power level as the leather jacket, or the leather coat is the red one. It's a similar power level to the red one.
I disagree. I think the red one's much better just because it costs 0 and red has much stronger recursion options.
Sure, maybe, but like vacuum, they're very similar. Like 2 resources is about worth an action. And this one's fast.
It is directly worth an action actually, but like but like leather coat or leather jacket, the green one I think belongs in C or some maybe even D tier, and the red one when we get to that, I'm gonna probably advocate for it to be like around A.
I would probably put leather coat. Sorry, I put those in like probably just low B tier, but we'll get there.
I think the red one is like much better than the green one.
Yeah, the thing is just you don't die in red. Like you just don't die. Like
yeah, but that's one of the avenues that you use to never die.
Yeah, that's fair.
Anyway, my point is that I think they're very similar in power.
Okay. I disagree, but we all agree the green one's like kind of trash, right?
Yeah, I think it's better than Dario though.
Oh yeah, a lot of things are better than Dario though.
Yeah.
Because like you have nothing else you want to wear in your body in green.
Hell, I can make an argument that like Investments is better than Dario if I tried.
Oh, probably. You know what, Travis? You convinced me. You don't even need to say anything. You just convinced me. It actually is probably better than Dario. You're 100% right.
Yeah, like you don't have to spend the actions to get the extra money.
Dude, Dario just got shafted.
Yeah, it only costs one. Yeah.
The unexperienced Streetwise.
This goes exactly the same place as Hard Knocks to me.
I think it goes one slot above Hard Knocks. Not that Hard Knocks.
Yeah, this one, right? Yeah.
I think they're like pretty close to the same card.
Mm-hmm.
You get an offensive stat and you get foot.
What the fuck's this called? Keen-eyed? Marksman.
That one's called marksmanship.
Sharpshooter?
Sharpshooter? Yeah, sure, whatever. It's the same thing. Marksmanship is the event that shoots things from a square away.
So when you use a fight ability on a firearm trait, you can exhaust it, choose one or both. You attack with foot instead of fist. All modifiers you use as foot. Use the attacking enemy's evade value for this attack. Interesting. 3 experience is a lot, and it's not... If you need to build around this card, you also need to draw it, which is always the unfortunate part for this kind of stuff.
Yeah, I was going to say, I would rather have seen this card being exceptional and permanent.
Yeah, exceptional and permanent. Yeah, definitely. I think for that it's neat and strong, but I think being able to you have to draw it makes it like you have to be in low B.
So but also just as a general thing, this card is worth about +2, I think, for the investigators you want to play it in, right? Because the investigators that have more fist and foot are like Winnie and Finn. And they only have 1 or 2 more.
Yeah, it's worth 1 and a bit, 1 and change. That part is worth 1 and change. The shooting at evade part is to me the part that makes this card good.
That's the strong part, being able to shoot their evade value.
That's the strong card of this. Being able to pick whatever number is lower and shoot at that.
Yeah.
Yeah, but then how often
that's what you need to be buying this card for.
Yeah, but how often is the enemy's punch value more than 1 or 2 points higher than their evade?
Quite often, actually, I'd say.
Yeah. There's a lot of enemies that have 1 or 2 evade. But
Hunting Nikon right off the bat, it's 4 to 1, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
I think it's niche, and I think Sharpshooter comes in once you know your campaign. You don't just put it in because you're like, hey, this card seems fun, right? I think it's very much dependent on the campaign.
Using guns, right?
Yeah. Which is also what makes it really rough, having to use firearms as well. But I mean, if you're going to build around it, you're going to build around it, right? But I think it's
Hear me out.
It's better spent.
Rudy Tooty, point and shooty, Safina.
No.
I think it's low B. I think it's it does not good things, but there's a lot going against it. But I don't think it's on par with these C-level cards.
Yeah, when it's good, it seems like it's probably pretty good. But there's a couple of hoops to jump through there.
Chuck Fergus.
This guy's sick.
Yeah, he's sweet. I think he's just below Delilah.
I think he's a little bit worse than that. 5 experience is a lot. And
this is true.
It's 5 experience to put him in your deck, and then you also gotta find him, which is tough for green.
Yeah.
And then you also have to be playing a big pile of the cards he affects. That being said, if all those things are true, he's very good. Yes, you're right. I would actually put him down, still an A+ tier, but maybe between the Typewriter and the Liquor, maybe above the Typewriter is fine. Yeah.
I could put him here. The gun is more universal than this guy, right?
Yeah.
You want a weapon, this is going to be a good weapon to choose. You want an ally, odds are, unless you're building around it, you're not going to choose Mr. Fergus.
Yeah, like the other part of this is that pretty near every green event in the game is a tactic or a trick. Just to throw it out there.
Yeah, another tough part about him though is like if you're going to spend 10 experience, if you're playing an event-centric deck, you're going to spend 10 experience on Shock, you're going to spend 8 experience on Double Double.
I would spend 10 experience on Shock, hands down. He's easier to find. Like 1,000 times easier to find.
It's not 1,000 times, it's literally twice.
No, it's much more than twice because you can find him with calling in favors. But green doesn't get to play a card that can find a ritual. So like Chuck is a lot easier to dig out of your deck than Double Double is. So like assuming that the events that I want to play are tactics and tricks, and I'm not like trying to play spells because I'm some sort of counterfeit painter. Like I think Chuck is better.
Or Preston. Preston also benefits a lot from Double Double.
Yeah. I mean, I think I'm happy with him here. I think I like Delilah more than him, but I'm not like too.
He is more narrow than Delilah, but like green, pretty much every green event in the game is the right type to hit with him. So as long as your other color, like you don't get to play purple as well, he's pretty high.
Yeah. All right. Well, speaking of purple, next week we have the purple assets. And then red assets. I love looking at these cards and being like, holy shit, 8 experience? That's like my entire deck in Survivor.
Incredible.
That's crazy.
Yeah.
Well, honestly, actually, like, I think so far, green is our color with the least amount of D tier cards. Good job, green. You did it. As always, there will be a link below to this list, which will have the thing if you wanted to view the list there. And then other than that, we'll see you guys next week for some Mystic assets. Have a good one, and as always, GG's.